Welcome back to CuriousHorse. Yesterday was quite the adventure. We kicked off our integration process with Drakaina, and my little Viking Reese's put on quite the display of the pony Sumis. And today was nothing short of an encore. The horses are exhausted. Reese has wore everybody out. But Drakaina and Patriot are going to be introduced today. I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this moment. And then quick intro for tomorrow's video. I have to let Channing know that he's just too big to ride Reese's. Too big, Channing.
I'll be a kid forever. I love my pony.
Now it's time to bring Drakaina in with Patriot and Reese. What do you guys think? Do you think Drakaina's gonna be alpha over Patriot? Or do you think Patriot's gonna be alpha over Drakaina? I mean, their age is very close. Drakaina's probably 3 months. Hey, Javelin. Why did you do that? Come here. Good girl. Good girl. You can be so sweet, Javelin. I always get super nervous with herd integrations. Super nervous. Mr. Dapples. Now it's time to get Janana. Not Janana, but Patriot. Wow, my head's a mess right now. I get so nervous for integrations. Maverick, you wanted to hang out with me more than the integration, didn't you? I love Maverick. She's such a good girl. Love you, Javelin. I love you, baby. You're so sweet. I love you. I know, baby. I love you. I love you. Beautiful eyes. Come see your mama. Patriot's a little bit scared of her mom. Look. Come on, baby. So Patriot's on the right. The ground is a little bit higher, so she looks taller than she is, but she is super tall. Look at Patriot's legs. Let's see those big legs, Patriot. Good girl. You're gonna have fun today. You do look skinny. You see how tall Patriot's gotten? Patriot, you are tall, baby girl. I'm not sure if you can see, but Patriot is clacking her teeth at the moment. It's a form of baby talk that shows submission and lets older horses know that they are not a threat and they should not be harmed. Javelin can be very sweet, but she can also be quite naughty. Look at their blades. It's very similar, isn't it? Javelin has like a number 1 on her forehead pattern, you see? And then Patriot, you kind of have a number 1 too, you see? Maybe. I do think when you integrate horses that you should just have as much space as possible. Personally, I think so they can get away. I know a lot of commenters said that before, just give them space. So, they work it out. So I'm gonna open up paddock 1 and 2. I'm gonna put Patriot in the horse stall next to Drakaina and Reese. I'm gonna let them say hello, and then Patriot is then gonna be turned out with her new sister and Reese, and I'm hoping this goes well. But I do wanna do the horse stall first. What do you guys think of Patriot's weight? Do you think she's too skinny or do you think she's a good size? Because I do worry about her weight more often than not. Patriot's gonna meet Drakaina. Wow. Wow. That is not the horse introduction that I've been accustomed to. Javelin and Janana when I get new horses. I'm used to the horses squealing. And a squeal, it's a high-pitched noise that it's usually a sign of like conflict or aggression or some type of threat. Stallions often squeal at other stallions, but Javelin notoriously does this. It can also mean excitement, but these girls are acting like this is not their first meet and greet, but it is, and I'm super stoked about this. Nello Reese's is coming in for some attention. He seems to be quite fixated on Patriot, and I'm not quite sure why. I do think he wants to reestablish his dominance. So Patriot is Javelin's daughter. And Javelin is extremely dominant, as you can see. And Patriot, she's more, I wouldn't say submissive, but her nature is more reserved. But maybe Reese's picks up on something else that she's going to be quite dominant as she gets older. I don't know. But right now, Drakaina and Patriot are getting along very well. And Drakaina is really good with space. Have you noticed how good she is? Do you see Prince and Janana watching? There's no fighting. They seem to be doing really good together. I'm shocked and happy. Still early though, so stay tuned. Now I'm gonna walk Reese's and Patriot from paddock 1, which is at the front of my house, to paddock 2. They actually connect through the horse barn, and I'm mostly doing it just so Drakaina gets used to following and going through the barn. I don't anticipate she's gonna have any problems. She's got such a good brain on her. But I do think by showing the horses the property lines in the paddocks that they're in a controlled setting, I think it just minimizes the chances of having an injury. It's just something that I always do. So Patriot's gone to the feeder to get some hay, and Drakaina is trying to win over Janana and Javelin. It's just too soon. Like, this will take a couple of days for Javelin and Janana just to chase her at the fence. It's just what Janana and Javelin has always done to new horses. For Sarge, they chased him for months. For Prince, maybe a week or so. For Maverick, probably the least amount of time, but she is a mare. So I'm hoping because Drakaina is a mare and she's only a yearling that they won't go too hard on her. But has anyone else seen this before where the mares just kind of haze a new horse? It just happens, and that's why I think introducing over the fence is the smartest approach. This is such a beautiful moment, and it is the calm before the storm, because I am going to let Reese's and the girls out in the big paddock soon, but I'm just enjoying this right now. It's so cute. Here comes Boss Man. Patriot, be careful. Patriot, be careful. Patriot, get your head out of there. I'm a little nervous because this is the first time that Reese has seen this hay. He's usually used to the other feeder. It's a different hay source, and Patriot's head is in kind of a compromising position if Reese's was to go after her to control the resources. Horses do fight over resources. It's known as resource guarding. It kind of applies here, but you just have to be conscientious of situations like this with horses, especially young horses in general. You see Prince over there by himself. He wants to hang out. I mean, he hang out with the big horses, but he wants the girls. He's a ladies' man too. Is Drakaina gonna go see Reese? Or Drakaina's now gonna go see Prince. Prince! Come on, Prince! Can't wait for them all to be out in the big paddock. Prince, come on. Gonna meet your sister? Prince is just huge. Drakaina, you wanna meet your brother? I know she can see him. Drakaina, you're so respectful of space. Next time, baby. I know you've been wanting to see her a little bit longer. My girls. Alrighty, Drakaina came back to see Prince. Let's see how this goes. Oh, look at Reese and Drakaina. Well, Prince just met Drakaina, and you've never done that. Come here, baby. You're okay. Come here. You've never done that before. He got excited to see Drakaina, and he's never done that before with Reese, or Patriot, or anybody. I wonder why he did that with Drakaina. So Prince got excited to see Drakaina. He's never done that with any other horse before. That kind of makes me nervous to turn them all out together. Hopefully he doesn't act that way. Drakaina, you gonna come with me? She's like, nope, there are 7 other horses here, and I'm gonna go have some fun. I'm super excited about having Drakaina here. I'm gonna train her the same way I train all my horses, just going slow, building that connection. I love you, Drakaina. I love you. She's very respectful to Patriot space. I have no idea who's alpha. Why does Patriot have this in her tail? You see how it's like different color here? It's more rich at the bottom. I thought it was supposed to be rich at the top and less rich at the bottom, but hers is opposite. She's missing something in her diet. Can you tell? Drakaina's eating her food, so is Patriot. So Drakaina was born in February. She's such a beautiful girl. You are beautiful, Drakaina. You know that? You are beautiful. Do you like your hay feeder? You are such a beautiful girl. She's butt high right now. And then Patriot. Yeah, that's Drakaina. Bree just got here. Janana is passed out. She's actually one of my best sleepers in my herd, and horses sleep both standing up and laying down, but I have noticed that more often than not, Janana sleeps more frequently laying down than my other horses. And horses need to lay down to have more of a restorative sleep, which is like the REM sleep, and REM sleep only occurs while horses are laying down, and it's when their muscles are just completely relaxed. And horses need around 30 to 60 minutes of REM sleep per day minimum, compared to humans, in which we need around 2 hours or so of that REM sleep. And our horse's environment profoundly impacts sleep. If a horse doesn't feel safe to lay down, then it may not get enough REM sleep. And this could be due to selling the horse, loss of friends, and if the amount of turnout that the horse is getting is insufficient, where it just doesn't feel comfortable to lay down in a stall, and that can lead to sleep deprivation. And when a horse doesn't feel safe to sleep, this is called environmental insecurity, and it's one of the main reasons why I do prefer for my horses to be out in the herd as opposed to separate paddocks, because they do feel more secure in that herd. Is Prince not an angel? That face, I can't get over how cute he is. Look at that face and those dapples. And of course, the amount of sleep that a horse needs depends on its age. Foals will need to sleep up to, I believe, 50% of the day for the first few months. And adult horses, about 5 hours per day. And then older horses sleep more frequently, but for shorter periods of time. And I wonder if that has anything more to do with being vulnerable to predators. I'm curious. And the beauty of having a herd is that horses sleep in herds, and while some are sleeping here, Janana and Maverick, others, for example, Javelin and Sarge and Prince, take turns standing over them watching for predators. Alrighty, back to the integration. I'm about to let Drakaina, Reese, and Patriot in the big paddock, and Reese is about to get the zoomies like no other. It's gonna be hilarious. And this is why every farm needs a little pony like Reese's, my little Viking. I think Janana and the herd are sleeping because they are not aware at the moment what's going on, and they're going to be shocked when they see how much trouble little Reese's is getting Drakaina and Patriot into. Just you watch this. Horses experience such a feeling of freedom when running like this in the herd. It's exhilarating and it's exciting. It's such a natural behavior that taps into their primal instincts. And I believe this is why we enjoy watching them run so much, because it's so natural, especially like in a herd or in a herd and an open space. And although riding a horse and galloping is fun for us and the horse, it's not the same feeling that the horse gets if they're running and galloping independently without having a rider. Look at Drakaina, she follows him everywhere. They really bonded over this quarantine protocol breach in their natural environment. So if you don't have access to a large open paddock, figure out if there's a horse park or a place that you can just go and let your horses out and run independently with a buddy. It's just something that they should get to experience, I think, frequently or as frequently as possible. It's just a fundamental behavior for horses. Running allows them to escape predators in the wild, so it feels very instinctive to them, and it's also enjoyable for them. It's so stimulating, and it releases endorphins. And endorphins are hormones that act like painkillers and improves your mood. Endorphins are essentially neurotransmitters that are released in the brain during pleasurable activities like exercise, of course, eating, laughing, and other types of activities. And for horses, especially running, right? It's great for Janana that she has a space to run like this because, as you know, Janana does suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and the endorphins that she releases when running actually help her. Studies suggest that those with PTSD may have a lower level of endorphins following the traumatic event, which potentially leads to an increased sensitivity to stressors and a difficulty coping with emotional pain. Many of our community members on here said that how much they love to watch Janana run, and it's physically apparent the joy that Janana experiences when she's running. I forget the word that somebody said, Janana bucks, or they love Janana bucks, or Janana sprints, or bolts, whatever it was. Believe it or not, but I actually do suffer from anxiety. Well, I wouldn't say currently suffer, and that's why I'm so into positive manifestations and intentions and actively keeping my subconscious mind pure. And that includes who I surround myself with and the information that I allow myself to process. For example, when a person treats you with rude and harsh and toxic words, if you do not accept those words, then who do you think keeps those words? The person that was toxic, they keep the words. Let them eat the words. Never try to prove yourself to somebody. If you treat them the same way that that toxic person treats you, that means that you're sharing and eating their food with them. So never accept the words, never show angry words to them. And if you provide those angry words to them, then you are unsuccessful. And instead, you just put a smile on your face and never share those toxic words. Being toxic is being mentally weak, and you should never try to prove yourself to that type of person. And if you do not try to prove yourself to them, then you are successful. We have to be positive and we have to smile. This is the first thing that I've practiced that changed my life. You can listen to what the person says, but you do not have to accept. But you don't have to accept their words. And if you don't accept those negative and judgmental words, then who keeps the words? They do. They have to hold on to them. So that's my motto in life, and it changed my life. It's been a while since I've not managed it, but I definitely have gone through a bad period of time during university that I had anxiety. And one day I will talk more about this, but studies have shown that anxiety does lower your level of endorphins. And the issue is that the lack of endorphins leads to an ability to cope, which results in anxiety and panic. The point of mentioning this is to promote and encourage situations for horse owners where you can facilitate them having access to area to run, just as nature has always intended for them to run, and they've evolved to do so. Here's Reese's. Oh, this is quite interesting too. So this is my round pen and like a viewer deck, I guess you could call it, spectator deck. Well, I think when he's with the big herd, if he needs like a resting spot to get away from them, he can just go under here. That'd be like his little spot, if you would. I also got more clarity on what people meant regarding my background. So as a child, I spent the majority of my weekends with my grandmother, Maureen. She was my role model, my best friend. She taught me confidence, unconditional love, and just how to be strong. Also, the definition of delayed gratification. And she also taught me the importance of education. And the only reason why I believe I've achieved so much in life is because of her, and just fear of, letting her down and not being that person that she saw me as a child. So she will always be my biggest motivator. But she was born in Yorkshire, and she moved to London. And she had a property in Cambridge, and then she had a property in Godstone. And we would walk the countrysides together. She never had horses, but she had like a horse background. But we'd walk the countrysides, and I just knew from like as a child this was the lifestyle that I'd want as an adult, you know. And growing up in the States, I had friends that had horses, and of course they didn't ride. I feel like many people that have horses that are children don't ride for some reason, but having friends that had horses, it made them accessible to me, and I would ride them as much as possible. I would swim in lakes. Everything was always just bareback for fun, you know, with a halter. And then growing up kind of during my associate's degree, I had friends that had very nice English hunter, jumper, dressage type horses, and I just would want to go and ride. They would only let me ride their horses if I agreed to get like a formal training. So that's why I learned how to do the jumpers, and it's something that I really did enjoy at the time, but it was to ride in that certain style that the horse was trained, and that again made horses accessible, and that's kind of where my English background riding came from. But deep down, I always knew I'm going to learn how to ride the certain way so I can ride any horse. Deep down, I just want to go on trail rides and connect and bond with the horse. And that's kind of where I'm at today. But after my first or second year of training, I started competing with my first horse called Rhythm, and I did the jumpers. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I did pretty well because I was fearless and connected with my horse. Today, all my horses are babies, as you can see, and I really don't know which direction I'm going to go with them. If I'm going to go to a certain direction or if I'm just going to have fun with them. I'm still kind of figuring it out. My next plan is to learn how to drive my horse trailer and just get them out and maybe do certain type of horse riding that they are built for. So Sarge is a Clydesdale, whatever he would excel in for a big draft. So TBD on what's to come next year, but I will be showing. Just not sure which show yet. I am also looking to take dressage lessons. I've taken dressage training before, very minimal dressage training, but that is something that I could see myself enjoying as it would benefit the horse too. So the horses right now are in paddock number 3, and I did save a nice like tree coverage area for them. In the summer when it's scorching hot, the horses all come over here. They can either go in the barn or they can go under the trees to get the shade, and they do prefer going under the trees, I've noticed. But this is Drakaina's first time kind of exploring the property. This is the first time with Patriot in a paddock. This is the first time in paddock 3, and I think she's naturally explorative. She's curious. And I just think this horse has such a good head on her shoulders. So she's rare and she's beautiful. Just look at her go. And now she's about to take off with Patriot, and I'm hoping my drone can keep up with these two. Tomorrow I'm going to bring Sarge out in paddock 3 for a ride, and I'm hoping that everything will be okay with Reese's. The last time I rode Sarge in the field with Reese's, he kept chasing me. I'm hoping that he doesn't do that anymore. Here comes little Reese. Is he not the most cutest little pony you ever seen? Does he look like an Icelandic pony or something? I don't know. He's a red roan pony, but is there a way of telling a pony breed? I don't know too much. He's my first pony. And then this is my hay feeder in paddock 3. Here's Prince, next to Maverick, Janana, Sarge, and Javelin. This is the horse stalls. I actually was following Drakaina in here with my drone, but she just stepped outside. They do go in here in the summer also to escape the sun. Like I said, the trees also, but they don't spend too much time in the stall. Sarge will go in there if it rains because he does not like to get wet. For the initial herd integration, I could not be happier. Patriot is hitting it off with Drakaina and Reese. How long do you think I should wait before I merge both herds together? And tomorrow's gonna be quite the day. We're gonna do a check-in with Drakaina and how the herd's treating her. And also, I have to let Channing know that he's just too big to ride Reese's.
I'll be a kid forever. I love my pony.
Too big, Channing.
But right now you're a kid. But I want to ride Reese's. My pony.
It's the right thing to do. I know you're... I'm sorry.